You're watching the Better Days podcast with the boys, Danny and Zach. Any guesses where they are today? Enjoy the episode.
Episode 3 with a guest host, Sol.
I'm Danny.
Our Danny replacement. Danny's up in Scotland on a mountain currently. We are, where do you think? With our lovely guest, Becky Green. Ooh. The kayaker, the freestyle kayaker. Say hello.
Hello.
We're just going to have a little chat like we did with Sol. So far, everybody's loved that episode.
Oh yeah, it's how the turntable, so you know the guest is now the host.
So I've brought him back in.
Yeah.
He'll probably be a regular. You'll probably see him a lot. And have a little chit chat.
The old besties are back together.
We are.
It's my boyfriend.
Yeah. Although we all knew each other from how many years ago? A few years ago.
Quite a few years ago.
It's a while, yeah.
We say that like we're really old.
Yeah.
We're all the same age.
Pretty much. But the Lee Valley days.
The Lee Valley days.
Yeah. That was
good old times.
5-6 years ago? 4 or 5?
Something
No,
like
it can't be that.
Oh, it was at least 4 years ago.
I started working at Above and Below when I was 16.
So 4
and we're now
years ago.
21.
I'm not 21. I'd like to clarify I'm not 21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 years.
4 years.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Becky. What do you like to do?
I like to do freestyle kayaking.
Yeah.
I like to do kayaking in general, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it, really. No, I was studying at university in my last year of Nottingham.
Yeah.
Graduate in May. Moving to North Wales in my van. Going kayaking a lot.
Lovely. Exciting stuff. Exciting stuff.
Yeah.
What were you doing in Nottingham? Where were you paddling?
Home Pier Pump.
Yeah.
Yeah, I work there. That's all right, you're good.
Chaser of concrete ditches then, yeah?
Yes, well, yeah, worked to Lee Valley, moved to Nottingham for university when I was 18. So I've been doing freestyle there for a few years, work at Nottingham as a raft guide and outdoor activity instructor. Concrete ditches, compete in freestyle, because it's, Nottingham is the best place for freestyle, which is mainly why I moved there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was freestyle how you started off kayaking?
Kind of. I paddled when I was like 10 at Lee Valley, and that was like sit on tops on the lake, and there was a group, and then I did raft racing.
Okay.
But then I got kicked off the team because I was too young. And then I did a trial for the development program for slalom, but I was 2 years too young to be doing it, and then I did it and I failed because I failed on the bleep test and jump. I couldn't jump high enough, so then I didn't make that. And then Dan McGaley found me when I was like 14, and he was like taught me how to roll and got me legacy assessed, and then taught me how to loop, and then that was my freestyle days.
Yeah.
All credited to Dan McGaley, basically. Yeah. Pretty cool dude.
So freestyle is definitely the main thing for a while then, eh?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I didn't start I was remembering this earlier actually. My first river was the Dee, and it was quite high, and I must have been, I don't think I went on my real river until I was 18.
Really?
Because I had my car.
Wow.
I know, and I was sleeping in my car at Marlem Mill, and I just had my booster jab for COVID, and I was freezing cold, and I was really ill, and I was like sleeping in my car and paddling on rivers, and I was like, this is so cold. But yeah, that was my first river experience, and then like went downtown falls and stuff, and I was like, oh, it's quite cool. I never realised, you know, when you first discover rocks for the first time. Or like as a freestyler going from like, oh my gosh, it's a rapid, I want to go in it, and then like you're like, oh no, like on a river the rapid is like a rock.
Yeah,
mad.
There's definitely that learning curve when you're coming from concrete ditches to like
when you go for omni rocks that are like bright
rocks
red
and they're spiky and
yeah.
I think it's like fake confidence, because you get really confident at a whitewater centre where it's safe, and you can get trashed in a hole, and then you'll see something on a river, maybe a weir like we saw earlier, and think I can do something in that, and then can't get out of it. Or
was that your Kent experience?
That's the Kent experience.
I knew this was going to bring up.
You mentioned the Kent experience. It's happened a few times with Zach as well.
No.
I don't know. I've seen you go to some weirs, and I'm like, oh. Yeah,
but we did a really, really low trip to the Lake District to film a video, and
last
January.
Yeah.
Freezing cold, no water, and I swam on a weir.
Yeah. Did you try and do a tomahawk?
I tried something that didn't work.
Yeah.
And learnt from it.
Oh, there's a boat coming down without a person in it. I heard some whistles.
Oh
We
my
should
gosh,
get
there's
out
a
of the
white
way.
boat.
That would be fine, yeah. Maybe. If ropes start throwing. We've put ourselves in a really bad position to film a podcast.
Maybe Zach was right.
But it's all part of the atmosphere, I think.
Wait, that bag was shocking.
It was. I know he emptied it.
He did empty it, but he went nowhere near him.
It just was in front.
That's a good point. I don't know who my 15 would
Ooh, I would not be happy. Take me to church.
Homie's walking the long way out.
Nice.
Peanut butter journey the long way.
Take two.
Take two.
Are we starting again?
I don't know. No, as in, that was our little called for
Interlude.
break.
That was our intermission.
Interlude.
Interlude.
So I'll sit back a little bit.
Intermission.
Oh, fucking hell.
So
gonna fall off.
I think we were right. This is a really awkward spot for everyone. But we're going to go with it and see what happens.
Committed now.
Where were we? We were talking about
Kayaking.
on the kayaking podcast.
Rocks.
Rocks,
Yeah.
rivers, dangerous.
River's
And,
dangerous.
Yeah. But you've recently, so you've done a load of playboating and a load of competitions, which we'll talk about soon because that's cool.
Okay.
But like Sol was saying, you're now spending a bit more time in a big boat again.
Yeah.
How are you finding that on rivers?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's
Yeah?
so cool. I went to Scotland over New Year and then just randomly coming up messaging you guys and be like, oh, hey, you're around, let's go paddling. And yeah, I was feeling like underwhelmed getting back to freestyle because you go from like, just from the view. I love like mountains, you know, and it's so pretty. And then going back into inlet where it's like disgusting and, but then I remember that I do love like flipping, like like loops and stuff are pretty cool too. So I do, but yeah, just running off some waterfalls and big and bouncy things is pretty fun actually.
I think that's definitely one of the harder things about like the switch between artificial courses and then your real rivers is like you're going down, say even just the D, like it's so, you know, you're looking up in the mountains and there's trees and then you go back to like your lee valleys, your home pier points, and it's just literally concrete building.
Yeah.
Do know the pain for that one, but
it's definitely not as. You can still find the beauty in it. Like there's lots of herons around and stuff. Yay, wildlife, along with all the plastic bottles and Trent rubbish. But
Although I think they're really good for training if you're doing your freestyle or even in a big boat or a slalom because it's so consistent and regular.
I'm so grateful for inlet, like for sure. Even going from Lee Valley where you do a trick in a feature and then you just flush immediately and you smack the nose of your boat on the concrete floor and then go into inlet where it's deep. It's consistent. You can retain the feature every time you do a trick. I felt so much freestyle progression in Nottingham, and then even going to, I was in Germany in June for the World Cups, and then in Austria in August for Euros, and like just the progression that I've just felt from these competitions of the past year that's accredited to my training in Nottingham has just been like really cool.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So you're quite humble about all this.
Yeah.
Me and Sol kayak because it's fun. Becky kayaks because she's really good at
No.
Internationally good, you might say.
Yeah. And we're really grateful to know you and that you hang out with us and that we go paddling together. We did a little lap yesterday on a high D.
Always fun. It has dropped off a bit today, but
I don't think there was like actually holes I could play in. It was really cool.
Exactly.
I didn't hit the floor once
that's the
either.
best bit about the D is that you get in the summer, like it's low water, but you get a lot of the downriver play, and then when it comes up, get a playboat out, and it's actually sick. Not as consistent, but
but we had probably 5 or 6 features that were fun in a playboat yesterday.
Trying to get on them. Like, you guys in the longer boats, you're just like right on. I'm like,
acting like I was on that lap. I wasn't on that lap.
No, but we talked about it.
So I had Dan representing me.
Yeah, but it was a cold one.
Yeah, it's cold.
But it was good fun. Might put a little bit of footage in the video at the end. That
We're going to go kayaking soon.
We are.
Oh yeah, we're going to do another lap.
Yeah. Do another lap.
Happy days.
What are your plans for this year, Becky? Have you got any exciting adventures or competitions? Or?
So in April, I'm going to go to Germany to train for Worlds. And then I graduate in May, hopefully, if I go to uni this semester. And then in June, I've got the World Championships in Plattling in Germany. So I'm going to spend a couple of weeks out there. week competing, week training, and then hopefully like detour around Europe on my way back.
Lovely.
And then come back and move to North Wales.
Perfect.
So you mentioned the training for competitions, getting out for your own fun as well, and then uni. How do you find that all sort of ties together, especially trying to get uni work done?
It's quite hard because I work as well, like working at HP, which I'm really grateful that I've been able to have some reception shifts this like winter, because it is like the balancing it is hard, especially when it's cold and you don't want to go kayaking. Like what to do freestyle, because you get brain freeze and your hands get really cold and you just find that you're sitting in inlet side surfing, like not wanting to go upside down. Just like finding the motivation to do that is quite hard, especially when it's getting dark quite early as well. And then doing uni work around that. Uni tends to take a bit of a side thing, but then when I have an assignment due, because obviously we leave things to last minute, I then like spend a day and I like don't go paddling. I'm like, I can go paddling once I finish this assignment, so then I do prioritise that. But
did you do that in school? Or did you just go kayaking?
I just went kayaking. But I haven't got a degree.
That's why we didn't get to uni, I think.
I think the problem is when I go like to Hon Pierpont to go kayaking, I then see Danny and Mevans, and I spend like an hour chatting to Danny and Mevans. And then like I take forever to get changed because I don't want to put my wet kit on. And then I go kayaking, and then I spend more time chatting to them on my way back, and it does take up a lot of time.
It's all the faff and the admin that doesn't work. Bit more
I think we might have a bit more action coming.
Do we?
Don't worry about us. If we're in the way, just push us over or something.
There's some chances road might be coming round.
We'll jump out of the way.
Do you want more bags?
What are you throwing? Is someone...
I'm going to go get my bag.
I wouldn't. I'd be fine.
Just in case.
Let the unis do it.
Oh, mate, I love watching them fuck it and then we get it right. It's not like it's a fucking long walk out. They must
The help centre shuttle.
Okay. I reckon it'll be fine. This is going to be fun to watch.
We have faith in them.
I think we should go get our bags. Imagine rescuing people on the podcast.
No. Let them do it. Needs a practice.
It's training, Zach, for your rafting.
Thank you.
Happy days.
Ain't no hollaback.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about
Hollaback Girl, Gwen Stefani.
You're trying to balance uni and that lot. Yeah.
But you're saying you're in the last year of uni, so
I am, and I've done all right,
You made it this far.
Like my first year was good. I do theology, which is like nothing to do with kayaking, but like religious studies and philosophy, and it's quite cool because I don't have to actually go to my lectures, hence why I'm here. Like it's all recorded, and then as long as I do the wider reading and I write my assignments and submit those assignments on time, then I get an alright grade. So
it's quite perfect for kayaking around then and training.
Yeah, but then you're also aware that I'm spending like $9,500 a year on university.
Got to make it worth it, right? Otherwise,
That's true.
It is one of those.
But I'm so like to be in Nottingham and like have a student loan so I can go kayaking is pretty nice. But I wouldn't. It's not for everybody. Like it really isn't, and it's worked for me. If I went back, would I do something different? Maybe, but equally, I'm pretty happy. And just the freestyle community in Nottingham is also really lovely. Like there's so many friends that I've found there, and other people I can go kayaking with, and freestylers. It's pretty cool.
So your plan in the long run would be to start making your way over here? Thinking
I want to have
some
adventures,
What would that mean in terms of like the freestyle element of your paddling? Like, would you still be training loads, or is it?
I'll still be training, definitely. Like I won't stop that at all. Like a lot of the training, like going to the gym, just keeping up general fitness. Maybe pick on more flat water. But also hoping to do some like coaching as well.
Nice.
Whether it's like the Trerrin or here, because I am a qualified freestyle coach. And I've been coaching a group of kids on a Monday evening at Hon Pierpont Canoe Club, and like they've progressed. It's amazing to see. I've really enjoyed that actually. A lot of the like young people, started not knowing much.
This is so intense.
No, we need to pray for clean lines, team. Clean lines, no swimmers.
No, there's a swimmer already coming down with them.
Oh shit. My bad. Ignore me. I'm just a cocky raft guide. Ignore me.
He's braced.
He braced.
I used to have a yak buoyancy like that.
I used to have a yak buoyancy 8. Yak buoyancy aids are the way.
My first shift at Above and Below, Matt took my buoyancy aid and he went and threw it in the bin.
Right.
And I was like,
Did he then give you another one?
He didn't get it there, but then he was trying to charge me for it. I was like, no. He was like, I'll take it out your next paycheck.
He's a sly one.
He's a good old boy.
I think he was embarrassed. He was embarrassed to see me in the kit I was in. I got it from Facebook Marketplace for free.
Yeah. On the last episode, me and Sol were talking about our second-hand kit that we started with.
What was your favourite piece of second-hand kit?
Well, all of my second-hand kit is Sol's.
That's my new kit. Yeah.
But
quite often known as the River D Zach flat.
yeah.
Which is it's complicated now that you live here.
We've all got to start somewhere, haven't you?
That's it.
None of us can afford any kit or anything that's waterproof.
Should someone tell them there's a way to walk out of it? Is it too late for that?
Should we tell them what?
There is actually a way to walk out.
Yeah, but if they're in the... Right. This podcast might have a load of breaks in it, but there's many uni boaters paddling down
It's right, because it's great. It's great fun.
And it's quite intense. And we are in a really inappropriate position to
My
be filming
uni
a
came
podcast.
here and someone dislocated their shoulder in Town Falls.
See, I'm surprised by that. I thought UON would be, like the uni club would actually be pretty solid. You got a lot
Some of them are
a
alright.
lot of pretty good paddlers.
Some of them, yeah.
I guess there's always
I'm not part of the club.
You disassociate yourself.
anti-establishment.
I'm part of Canoe Polo.
Okay.
There's like a rivalry.
Okay.
No, there is not anymore. But
How long have you been doing polo for?
Since I started uni.
Yeah?
Yeah. Do you know Toby Marlowe?
Of him.
Of him.
Yeah, his dad told me to join because Toby was in it. And I did. And it's so fun because it's contact sport.
Yes.
And you get to
Me
bin
and Sol
people.
are very aware of that.
We weren't allowed to be on the same team when we did.
Is there a club here?
Well, no. When we grew up in our kayaking club, the first Monday of each month, there was a polo. And it was filled with 60-year-olds and me and Sol.
60.
And then a few people who took it really serious, and we were just there for the laughs.
And we know the full contact side.
I bet there's one here. There must be a polo.
I don't know if there's any in plan. I know that there's a few people that go to like Manchester, Sheffield for them.
Okay.
I mean, it's a bit of a commute for polo, but
Yeah, that is fair.
yeah, I know.
But that must go well with your training for freestyle.
Yeah, it's good. Like because it's like
fitness.
sprint based.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is weird though, and it sounds really dumb, but like every time, because I paddle a lot in my boat freestyle training, and I have 30-degree paddles, and then in the pool I have 45, and I know it's only a 15-degree difference, but like I suddenly can't paddle for like a few minutes until I get used to it.
I know the pain on that one. Yeah, it's the especially when you have like splits and you change them for different boats and stuff like that. Have you ever done that?
Right, I don't have splits, but yeah.
It always throws you off. You're like, I don't want to be paddling like a creek with 15-degree paddles, but
No.
when you play boat and obviously a little less degrees.
Some
it's
people
more-
paddle freestyle with 0 degrees though, but
That's just horrible.
well, it's all right, but you just can't generate any like speed, can you? Getting back into a feature is harder. Like it's nice when you're like bow stalling because you've got a level paddle, but I like 30 degree. It was mostly Matt Edwards who's like adamant that freestylers need degree, so he's 30. So that's how I got that from.
Yeah, and you listen to Matt's advice because he's good at giving advice.
I know. He's the reason for so many things. I have a cranked paddle because of him. I ordered a straight, he gave me a bent.
Got to protect those wrists, you know.
I was like, okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Lovely little upgrade. We were talking last night. You do a lot of work in primary schools.
I do.
Inspiring
Yeah,
the younger
that's
generation.
pretty cool.
Me and Sol find it interesting. Do you want to elaborate on that? What it's
Yeah,
called?
so I work for a company called Sports for Champions.
Yep.
They're based in Chester.
Okay.
But they have about 70 athletes and they send us into schools and the schools raise some money. So a percentage of the money goes towards the athlete and then a percentage goes back into their PE department. And then I go in and I tell them about kayaking and I tell them how cool it is and I try and like inspire them, but also I tell them like, you know, the safety information as well. Because I show them a video of me like training and at competitions and all of that. And they think it's really cool, but then I'm also making sure that they're like, if they ever go paddling, you know, never paddle alone, always wear a buoyancy, things like that. And then I run fitness circuits with them.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you been doing that for?
3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is mad, because I've been to so many schools. And it's funny as well, because they all call me Rebecca.
Rebecca Green.
Rebecca Green. I'm like, oh, okay. Like if you say that to a kayaker, they're not going to know who you're on about.
Is she any good?
I think I've heard of her.
I know you also get a lot of like, oh, you're an Olympic athlete. Not quite.
Not yet.
It's not an Olympic sport.
Yeah.
What sort of age are their children?
Primary school, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I didn't go secondary school. I'd get bullied in a secondary school. Like no one cares about you in secondary school.
You're not cool anymore.
But primary school kids, like I couldn't be a teacher, but I don't mind going in because they're like obsessed with you, and they're like, oh my gosh, Rebecca Green.
Yeah.
And then they try and hug you, and you're like, oh. But like a reception to year 6, and they ask lots of questions like, how many medals do you have, and then how many silver medals do you have? And
how many medals do you have?
I don't know.
No. I thought they might be onto something there.
But I got a load of trophies recently, didn't I? Because they're not medals, but at the British Championships, they give trophies.
Okay.
But they're like glass trophies. Like, what am I supposed to do with them? Medals are way cooler.
Clanging and banging in the van.
Yeah, like you're going to put it on a shelf, go round a corner, and that's just...
Like all of my glass trophies are smashed.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting though. It must be quite rewarding as well.
Rewarding?
Yeah, to inspire a new generation of...
Yeah, I think so. I think just trying to show kids as well, to getting into kayaking is so hard.
Yeah.
It's also, a lot of people just see it as quite like exclusive or elitist, or like you have to have money to get into it. And I think all 3 of us probably show that, like, you don't.
We've been talking about a lot of like adventure sports. Is how do you get into it?
Yeah.
Because
there's definitely that element of like that entry level is just like once you're over that, it's all right. But getting over that can be hard.
I mean, I'm so grateful. We were talking about David Abro, weren't we, yesterday?
Yeah.
Who's just like an amazing individual who just gives up things.
Yeah.
Like just helps you out. He's so generous.
Yeah.
And
so many things.
And I don't think, like, I wouldn't be where I am without the people who just volunteer their time.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Like Dan McGailey, even the first coaches like I had at Lee Valley who just were volunteering for the club.
They're not far enough left.
Oh, he's fine.
Oh, he pulled it.
I'll keep paddling.
That's good.
Right.
Wait.
And now paddle.
Just gonna have another little break.
Another little break.
In the way. I just had a look at the video and it clipped to the bit of that bag was shocking.
You can't post that either.
We will.
Bath unit.
Yeah. No, we're being brutal, but we're only joking.
Everyone's a critic.
Where were we? What were we talking about again? Sports for champs.
No.
Inspiring.
I think we moved on.
We did move on.
Glass trophy, smashing.
Not having any money.
Not having money. Yes, how we get into the
there
sport.
There we go.
Yeah, it is quite a mad one, isn't it?
Yeah.
But like you're saying, I think we've got to be thankful to the people that gave their time to 3 useless kayakers at one point.
Yeah.
But were keen.
I was not an athletic kid. Like, I look back at some of the videos of me learning to kayak and stuff, and like I'm not like a coordinated individual. And like Dan McGailey was like, okay, yeah, she's a bit useless, but like no, I never said that, but I was saying that. But like but then took me from that and then taught me how to loop, like you know, when I was 14, and then I did my first UB selection because I was told that I'd probably be alright, and I scored 0 in like both competitions. And then this is what's mad, right? I scored 0 and I went home and cried. And then I made squad because my name, I don't know if it's actually true, but there was another girl that scored 0 and my name was alphabetically above her name. And I made squad and she didn't.
And you haven't looked back since.
And
been around the world.
And then that was my first time, like not on team, but like I was on squad, and I could say I was like GB as a junior. But then I never competed as a junior because COVID happened.
Yeah.
And then I was supposed to go to my first competition was supposed to be Paris Euros, and that was 2021. It was the year before Nottingham Worlds, and that was supposed to be my first competition, my last year as a junior. But then I didn't go because there was so much faff. It's like a really long story. But then I didn't go because my passport didn't end up arriving on time. Because of Brexit, you had to have more time on your passport, and it didn't arrive. So I never competed as a junior. And then I went for selections again, which was for Nottingham Worlds. And this is when I just started doing C1. So I competed in C1 and K1. And I made squad for K1, but then for C1, I originally didn't make team, which is mad because there was only 3 of us competing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's 3 spots on team. So I came 3rd and then didn't get the spot because they gave it to someone because of mitigating, who had never like necessarily competed in a C1 before.
Okay.
It was a bit interesting.
Controversial decision.
Yeah, a controversial decision. But I didn't make team. And then she dropped out, so I then got promoted to team, which was super exciting. And that was my first competition, 2022 in Nottingham, and then made podium. So I was like, didn't even make team, and then got a medal. So
Pretty cool. Pretty exciting.
good.
but yeah.
Sorry, go on.
I'm not interrupting you, so crack on.
The C1 K1 difference, obviously competing,
Yeah.
pretty massive. I've never been in a C1 before, other than like canoeing on the canal sort of thing. Like, how do you find that compared learning and competing? What do you
That's a very good
prefer?
question.
I don't know.
I'm glad I didn't interrupt that one.
No, that's a very good question. So I don't know. I want to say they're really different, but they're also really not. Okay, for those, I don't know if people know. Oh, should I just say anyway what the difference between kayaking and canoe is?
Go basic as anything.
Okay.
Whatever.
Like, so the boats look exactly the same from the outside. So some kayaks then become canoes that way. All that. You take out the seat and you put in a saddle. So you go from sitting down in a kayak to kneeling in a canoe, and then you go from a double-sided paddle to a single-sided paddle. I will say, when I first got in my C1, I still say this as well, it's harder to paddle in a straight line than it is to front loop.
Oh, really? That's not where I thought that was going, actually. I thought you meant because canoes are just like...
No, just like paddling a C1
line.
in a straight line when you've not done it before is really hard, but front looping it when you can already front loop a kayak.
So if we put like a complete beginner in a C1, they're going to loop it?
No. If you can already...
We're not listening at all.
I was listening.
If you can already loop a kayak, you probably will be able to loop a canoe, because it's very
You
similar.
say that, but I actually I have been in a C1 once, and I'm pretty sure I was at Lee Valley with you.
Right. Was it my boat?
It might not have been a C1. I had your paddle.
Oh, okay.
And I swam. And that was on the lake. Because I tried to roll and it didn't work.
Yeah. People always say like, oh yeah, I really struggled to roll a C1, but I don't remember this is going to sound cocky, but I just mean like, I think when you have a good, solid K1 roll.
Understanding of
an understanding of roll. I never struggled. I never had to even consciously think about rolling my C1.
Oh, really?
Unless it was on my left side.
Okay.
But now I don't think about it.
Yeah.
And there was that video that went like viral on Instagram of me failing to hand roll my C1.
Yeah.
Strong.
That's definitely harder.
Yeah.
I have hand rolled it
harder.
though since. Yeah. It's quite difficult because you're higher up. You've got a lot more leverage, and then not having feet in the end, and then like also having a single paddle, which doesn't make a difference to rolling, but to doing tricks and kayaking in general, going from like that to that is a bit of a challenge. But I sometimes, because I love kayaking, and kayaking's less painful and like just easier in general, especially because I've been doing it longer, so I'm better at it. So I do prefer kayaking, I'd say, but then I get in my C1, I'm like, oh actually I really love this as well, but I forget when I kayak for so long. Like I've been doing C1 all of this week because my kayak seat came unglued.
Okay.
And I can't bother to glue it back. I'm going to glue it back in, but I'm waiting for it to dry. So yeah, I've just been doing C1. I'm like, oh, actually, I find this really fun, and I need to like remember that because I should train it more. But it is good.
Nice.
I had a question.
You did have a question.
Which was, so you were in these competitions,
Yeah.
which are quite big events. You've got other people watching, you being judged, you being scored. How do you ground yourself? As in, are you someone to get nervous in situations like that? And if so, how do you make it a bit less nervous for yourself, focus yourself for what you're doing? Have you got any tips?
What's the ritual?
Yeah.
I think, because I've not competed at that much, I suppose. I have, but then I haven't. And because, so Nottingham, everyone was like, oh, how are you feeling? Honestly, like I was chill because I wasn't even supposed to be at Worlds. So to be at Worlds, I was like, wow, this is my first international competition. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I have no expectations for myself because of course I wasn't gonna, like I had nothing to compare it to because I'd never competed previously. And then like even making finals, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in top 5 in the world, that's so cool. So like I didn't think twice about it. And I was paddling alongside Ottie and Tamsin, who are like 2 of my closest friends. And I was like, oh, you know what? Like that's nice in itself. There was 3 Brits in a top 5, like in C1, and I thought that was pretty cool. So even like getting that silver medal was like, it was pretty cool. but like, because I wasn't really nervous, I was just excited. As I've done more since then, I suppose you could say that there's more pressure, but because you know that you've already won, so people are like, oh, you got to do better. But actually, like, people don't know who you are, like, people don't care. At the end of the day, if you're like having a nice time, no one remembers how well you do, and they will remember how you treat them, if that makes sense. Like, it's all about the interactions rather than how well you do, or like what happens. Like in America as well, that was on a wave, so I had no expectations because I didn't know how to wave boat before selections. I could do like a roundhouse, that was about it. So I'd never been on a wave that big to compete either, going out to good wave, and there wasn't a lot of time to practice. So again, I was like, oh, it's just an experience being here. Euros was quite nerve-wracking. That was where I was in Austria. I had a lot. That was where I kind of then started to understand this mentality, because you're like, okay, how do I prep for competition? Because I think that was my most recent competition, and that was where I've had the most amount of competition experience leading up to it. You've now got that standard that you've already set. On top. I've got my personal expectations. I was training hard this summer for this event at the end of summer. Does that make sense? So I was like, actually, you know what? I want to make myself proud. I want to do the ride that I know I can do. And, you want to do that consistently throughout the competition. And I found a big thing for me, I'm an extrovert. Like, I chat a lot, and that's just my personality. And I used to see, like, when I first started competing, all these people putting headphones on and, like, getting in the zone. And I'm like, that's great. If that works for you, amazing. For me, that's not what I do when I train. That's not what I'm going to do when I compete. Because at the end of the day, that's not what I'm used to. And that's just going to get me in my own head, get me stressed. What I need to do is just go and, like, enjoy it. Go chat to people. Like, I had some juggling balls at Euros. I was going around, like, juggling.
Keeping Matt Stevenson happy.
But, like, just, playing some upbeat music. Like, ABBA is my, like, go-to, like, Dancing Queen, just dancing around. I found that was, like, a Nottingham thing. In Nottingham, Wales, I was dancing to a lot of ABBA. So just, like, getting hyped, getting pumped, and using that energy rather than getting zoned. Because at the end of the day, if I'm going to do what I'm, like, if I've trained enough, I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't change it just before the day. Because I used to, actually, I don't know if, have you guys competed before? If anything? No.
Not in kayaking. I competed in athletics and stuff. But
maybe you'll know. I don't know if this is a universal, like,
not at the same level. I'd like to clarify. No, not internationally. Competed in Suffolk, I was shocking.
But when you're like, okay, I used to think when I was a kid, or like even now, I'm like imagining my ride for selections or whatever event, and I'm like, I'm going to pull out this entry, then I'm going to do space loop, Minarsi, phonics, then I'm going to do a lunar loop, tricky, and I'm like, I've never done a lunar loop tricky, but in my head I'm like, I'm going to do this for the first time
in competition and score.
You're not going to flush, it's going to be sick.
And like, that's like literally every night before competition, that's what my brain was doing, and I'm like, Rebecca, like, you've never done that before. So then being like, okay, that's really unrealistic. But then actually putting together rides where I am doing an entry, a space, loop, Minarsi, phonics, like those kind of things that I can actually do, putting that together for a ride, getting that consistent, and then going, okay, all I have to do is do it in this 45 seconds on this day.
There's definitely that element when you're competing in anything, like the whole, you can do this and you can think about doing that, but the basics are better, right? Like, if you can get them, obviously you're talking about fucking really advanced tricks here, but the things that you know how to do already and that are really solid, like just working on those, making that cleaner.
Exactly. Sure. I was so bored of McNasty's in all that.
Same. Whenever I do them, I just get so bored.
Stop doing them.
I just stopped it.
Completely stopped.
Can't do them anymore.
No, but genuinely, like, they're great. But I just did them so much over the competition, and I wanted to fall on my face again, Like, I wanted to.
Kayaking.
It's nice to hear, because you take it very seriously because you train, and it is your life. But equally, you don't take it seriously because you love it and you want to have fun with your friends and everyone.
There's a takeaway as a hobby and as a thing.
When you're having like a really sad day and then you go kayaking, you're like, oh, it's like less sad now. It's like,
except when it's cold, and then I'm more sad sometimes.
No,
only when my feet are cold.
But then it's a sense of achievement. Like, you've been out in your boat while it's cold, and then you can get warm again, maybe, and then you can be like, oh, I did this today.
Yeah, I think being outside, and we're really lucky because we do go kayaking and that's our thing.
Yeah.
I use it a lot for like mental health or just trying to distract myself from something, is I go kayaking outside.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure we all do.
It sounds cliche, doesn't it? But you're like, it's just the best form of therapy.
Yeah,
Just
because
like
it's
doing the
you
thing
and
that you
something
love.
natural.
Yeah.
It's even things like appreciating trees, and you're going down and you're seeing places that people can't see. I think that's
why
one of the
I
cool
think
things.
you get such a different perspective from the middle of a river. No one else gets that. Well,
Yeah.
unless you're a kayaker, but like.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
there's definitely a beauty in that and seeing things.
Yeah.
I think obviously you've paddled up in Scotland and stuff like that. Some of the rivers up there, some of the rivers further in Wales.
Yeah.
You're going down them. It's like the prettiest thing you've ever seen. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I did the Findhorn Gorge like in autumn. You
Yeah.
had like golden leaves on one side and it's just.
Do you ever wish you were like a
Mind-blowing.
poet and you could like put it in poetry?
I need to learn how to read before that. I think I've got a book in my pocket still. But, you know.
No, but like, because
I
I'm
know what you
really
mean.
not like a poet.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
when you like see that stuff and you're like, oh, if someone really creative saw this, I bet they could come up with some really cool stuff.
And then you can share it to other people that will never see it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we are quite lucky the places we get to see.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
But we almost take for granted sometimes because we want to go kayaking for a feature.
Yeah,
it's freestyle. Or
you're looking at that
the
style
water,
rapid, but-
and then you look back like where you are. If you're in Europe paddling, it's pretty beautiful places.
Yeah, Austria was
Yeah,
was a little feature in the middle of an
I
industrial
did see
estate.
some
yeah.
of the
Really brown
videos.
water.
Yeah,
It really brown water.
it's
yeah.
just when it flooded as well, and it just looks.
Flooded was in Platling.
I was
We got kicked out of 2 campsites.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that was at World Cups in June.
Yeah.
We got like, evacuated from the first one, and then we got evacuated from the second one by a load of firemen.
Yeah.
It was really exciting. They were like, "Oh, your tent's gonna flood. You should move." So I spent the last night in Globus car park in the front of someone's van.
Globus car park.
Yeah.
Globus, this shop in Germany, is incredible. It's the size of like
IKEA.
yeah.
No, it's smaller than it.
Okay, it's big,
No.
and you can buy everything in there.
Yeah.
Like a caravan if you wanted, I reckon.
Submarine.
Toaster. They've got like a 2-story alcohol section.
Okay, 2-story.
Yeah, it's incredible. Pastries and cakes.
What's the
like
shop called?
30-foot long. Globus.
Globus. Shout out.
Yeah, shout out. Sponsor us. That'd be sick.
You and James McKelvey were like obsessed with it.
Yeah, we had.
I was. Yeah, it was alright.
Yeah, we loved it.
Yeah,
But
you-
when we so me and James, who will get on the podcast because he's a legend and another
Yeah,
Valley
James,
local.
that's cool.
We went in the summer on a little detour to Austria, and it was really low, and we drove over the flood defences, thinking the water's never going to get up here. Like, what's the problem? And then obviously, when the competition was happening, there was a lot of water going down,
Yeah.
and you can see the flood defences.
It's mad because when you look at like where the podium was and
Yeah.
where the stands were, it was all flooded. But honestly, that was my favourite part. I mean, I had to cancel the competition, and that was really. So I was commentating,
Okay, that's
and then Charlie came up to me and he was like, "Becky, I've got a job for you." And I thought he was going to give me some free food. And I was really excited because they had lunch, like, and I thought there was like leftover food, so I was really excited. And then he was like, "I need you to go read this in the mic." And it was like, "Oh, I'm really sorry, the event's going to be cancelled because of flooding." And I was like, oh, it's really sad. But then the feature turned into a big wave,
okay.
and then we could like play chicken with all the surfers and like just play on the
So
wave.
were there like people just coming to surf as well?
Yeah, like the other side of the wave, there's like, it's a good surfing wave, and
The
then you can
Germans
go over
love
there
that,
as
don't
well.
they? Like, you got that one in Munich as well.
Yeah, river surf.
I'd love to like learn how to surf.
It's really
I
impressive.
think it goes on the D. In high water, I'm going to get my board out one day and see what happens.
Maybe. I'll get the camera out.
Yeah. Learn how to surf above
That'd
a
be
rapid.
cool. That would be
See, maybe it might hurt.
cool. Yeah.
That's perfect. I think that's been a good podcast. Should we call that a day and go paddling?
Let's go paddling. It's gonna get
I'm
dark.
keen to get on the water.
Oh, do you want to plug anything? Show off anything? We'll tag you and everything on your Instagrams and that. No?
Nah.
Humble, modest.
What do I need to plug?
You don't have to plug anything. If you've
don't
got
have to
something you
plug
wanted to.
Shop.
If you're interested in freestyle coaching and you're in North Wales,
Exactly.
message me.
There we go. Yeah.
Happy days.
It's been cool. Let's go paddling.
Sick.
Sweet.